what's up? This is the Officially Unofficial Geek channel. My name is Carrie Quinn. I'm the Officially Unofficial Geek, OUG for short. If you know, you know. And I am doing another edition right now of Carrie Reads. And this time we're going to talk about Carrie reading a actual novel, which is not the first time I've read an actual novel, guys. This is something I do sometimes, and I'm hoping to do a little bit more regularly now that 2024 we're here and we're doing this. Anyways, guys, this is the book we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about Zoey is Too Drunk for This Dystopia by Jason Pargin. And if you are new to the channel, you don't know this, but if you are not new to the channel and you've checked out some of my backlog of videos, you would know that this is not the first time I've talked about Jason Pargin's Zoey Ashe series. I absolutely love the character of Zoey Ashe, and if you're tuning in because you want a good, positive review, well, you've come to the right place. This book was released back in the end of October, and Zoey Ashe's, it's the third book, Zoey Ashe book that Jason Pargin, has written, and I absolutely loved it. That's a short answer. I absolutely loved it. I reviewed, there's another video way back in the beginning of my channel where I reviewed futuristic violence and fancy suits, and Zoey punches the future in the dick, and I love them, and I love this book. This is one of those books that was very highly anticipated by myself. If you are familiar with Jason Pargin, you know that he also is the writer of the John Dies at the End book series, of which the movie was based off of. And oh my goodness, can somebody snatch this up and get this made already? At least the beginning of the Zoey Ashe series storyline, because I absolutely love Zoey. Zoey, let me go ahead and tell you a little bit about Zoey, give you kind of a synopsis about the book. I'm going to keep this as spoiler free as possible. I'm going to give you a little bit of information just to wet your whistle to get you to go ahead and give this a shot. But first, no, let's just go ahead and get into it. Let's just get into it, guys. Watch to the end. I'm going to give you a little bit more information about the stuff that you can find in the description of the video, involving links to go purchase Zoey is Too Drunk for This Dystopia. And also in the description, I'm going to go ahead and throw a link for my original video way back in the day, for the first two books of the series. When I say that Zoey Ashe, the character, speaks to me in a way that not a lot of other science fiction, fantasy, I wouldn't say fantasy, but science fiction, dystopian heroines speak to me. She speaks to me in the way that I really identify with. Zoey, at the beginning of futuristic violence and fancy suits, the first book of the Zoey Ashe line, she is living in a trailer park and working as a barista in a coffee shop. And she has a cat that's called Stench Machine. And the cat is called Stench Machine. She loves the cat, but there's a damn good reason why it's called Stench Machine, because I guess the cat is stinky. But she is in her early 20s, and she's living in a trailer park in the trailer with her mom. And she comes to find out that her father, whom has been mostly unknown to her throughout her entire life, has shown up here and there, has left her his entire fortune. Now, y'all can get inheritances, but then there's inheritances, okay? And Zoey Ashe gets an inheritance, okay? A whole um empire of well, I mean, questionable activity, um, violence, and um, criminal slash slightly um, on over the uh, like there's some stuff that maybe isn't criminal that she's involved in once she inherits her father's entire worth. Okay, so she gets thrust from her father from her life as a barista living in a uh, trailer park to a life of luxury. And unfortunately, this life of luxury comes with, like I said, having to head a whole entire business empire with some clean things and probably mostly dirty business. And because of that, once she is named the person that inherits this, she becomes a big old. It's like putting a big old violent kick me sign on the girl's back. She um, gets targeted right away. And the thing about the world in the not so distant future where this takes place is that, like our world now, it is ruled even worse by social media and capitalism. And it's basically like everything you do, even to a higher extent than now, is subject for people to comment on or film and put online for everyone to see. And Zoey is not a traditionally beautiful woman. Zoey is a fuller figured woman with crazy colored hair. Um, and she has a cat that stinks. And she lives in a trailer park. And she gets taken out of this world and thrown into the other world where she's instantly a target for not only violence and people trying to off her, but also for people to criticize her um, everywhere in everything she does. So one of the things she does get is she gets this group of people that were employees of her father's that have now um, become her employees as well. And they're the suits. And the suits basically handle most aspects of the business, um, clean and dirty. And Zoey is the head of this whole empire. So at the time that Zoey becomes a gets to the point of this book, she's been involved in this in the ups and downs for quite a while. When we revisit Zoey in this book, the Zoey is too drunk for this dystopia. Um, they are a force in the business world. Zoe's been trying her best to kind of clean up the business and make it as legit as possible. But obviously, not everything is very legit. They have to get very involved in politics. So basically, the premise of this entire book, Zoey is too drunk for this dystopia, is Zoey continuing to deal with the fact that she is this heiress and this head of this business empire, what that continues to mean for her in her life and her interactions with other people, other beings. And they are also dealing with the fact that they have a mayor race going for the city of which they live in, Tabala Rasa. Um, and they have definitely, there are people that they back, and then there's the people that they don't back. And yes, so if you, I'm just going to throw this out there right now. If you are a person that does not believe that there is a cult of personality attached to politics, and you kind of have a little fangirl, fanboy moments with certain politicians, let's just say certain politicians um, in media right now, um, you are probably not going to be too fond of this book. However, if you are willing to look at this as everyone sucks in some way, whether there's the supposed good guys or supposed bad guys, um, you're going to really find a home in the world of Zoey Ashe. Because really, um, Zoey thinks everyone just sucks. And you know what? She's right. Um, and so you have everything going on in social media and people influencing and being influencers, and you have everything going on in Zoe's world and how they clash. Um, and there's some really funny moments in this. It's a futuristic tale, and there's some really funny moments in it. And there's moments where you really end up kind of being like, taking a look at not only yourself but also society as a whole, and where we could be going with society. It's very satirical, funny read, because it pokes fun at itself and others, and personalities and types of personalities that are very prevalent even in our society today, but what they could be like if everything keeps progressing the way it is. So, Zoe is continuing to do what she can to try to legitimize the business in this book. Still working with the suits, getting closer to them, also dealing with what happens in the world of social media as it pertains to her business and her persona, and also trying to navigate her way through this election that's coming up. Now, Zoe is not running for election. However, she is backing particular mayor candidate because it is, as capitalism is, the particular candidate for mayor um, aligns with their values. So that's basically the process. That's the basic lowdown of what's going on in this book. So if I were the kind of person to put kind of a a 1 to 5 stars review here for Zoe is Too Drunk for This Dystopia. Um, let's see here. Are there any negatives? Let's take a moment and think about, are there any negatives that I could give Zoe is Too Drunk for This Dystopia? Because I've given you a lot of positives. How it's funny, fresh, satirical, causes you to look at yourself and the world as a whole, but in a way that it makes sense, and in a way that kind of makes you, it's enjoyable. It's like one of those things where it's like you're getting the spoonful of medicine, but there's also the sugar there, you know. Um, is there any negatives? I would say nothing that really is going to make that much of a difference. There is um, some types of character interactions that are hinted at progressing in a certain way in this book that I'm not necessarily sure about. I'm not necessarily fond of the idea of certain things going down, the way they start to hint at them going down, involving character interactions, character relationships. However, I'm not opposed to them necessarily completely. So I would say if I was going to give this completely a 1 to 5 star review, I would say it's probably a 4.75, maybe a 4.5 at the lowest. That's pretty fucking out of 5. That's pretty fucking high. And I feel pretty confident. I'm pretty freaking high. I feel pretty confident going ahead and giving it that rating. But anyways, so I highly recommend the Zoey is Too Drunk for This Dystopia. If you are not interested in going back and reading the other two Zoey Ashe novels before jumping into this book, because maybe I've said something that makes you interested in reading just what happens in this book in particular, you really don't have to go back and read the other two novels, but I recommend them because they are a lot of fun, just like this one. But like I said, I will include those reviews down in the description below. But that's about it for this one. Just a short and sweet review. 4 point, excuse me, 4.75 stars for the very funny Zoey is Too Drunk for This Dystopia by Jason Pargin. Yeah, so that's about it for this one. Let me go ahead and show you. The cover is also in the thumbnail, but look at this book. And do not get frightened by that thickness because this is a quick, exciting read. Back cover as well. Loving that art. Let me see if I can tell you right away what the cover art is. Cover art. I'm looking to see if I can tell you what the cover art is. Who did the cover art for this book? Who did the cover art for this book? Who did the cover? It's by cover art. Cover art. Who did the cover art for this book? Designed by Steven. I don't know if that's cover art. Jacket design by Rob Grome. Jacket art is Woman with Wine Glass on Fire. Copyrighted Idea Trader. Shutterstock.com. Butterfly at Mrs. Opossum's Shutterstock.com. Cat silhouettes at Kemet at Shutterstock/Shutterstock.com. Wire pattern. Oh, okay, so like there's a bunch of different things that kind of got through together on this cover, and all of the different things are here in the back book cover, stating where it all came from and who put it together. So anyways, guys, that's about it for this edition of Carrie Reads. This has been Zoey is Too Drunk for This Dystopia. If you are interested, if I had given you any kind of reason to go ahead and buy Zoey is Too Drunk for This Dystopia, please visit the description below the video for a link, an Amazon associate link, which will take you to go buy the book. Now, every time that somebody buys a product from any of my Amazon associate links, I do get a cut, which is very important to keeping this process going, keeping me going, and keeping me able to do things that hopefully interest you and you enjoy here on the Officially Unofficial Geek channel and beyond. So check out that. Check out the link tree in the channel bio so you can see everything that I am doing involving the Officially Unofficial Geek and Lost Generation Productions as a whole. Thank you very much for being here. This has been Carrie Reads. Zoey is Too Drunk for This Dystopia by Jason Pargin. Thank you for joining us. Until next time, keep your eyes and ears open. If you see something, say something. And remember, the complacent never make a difference. So go out there and make a difference. Make a difference here in 2024. Until next time, I'll be seeing ya. Bye.